Hi and welcome to the Gemhawks YouTube channel. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. For our tutorial today here on YouTube, we're going to learn these 5-minute love spell earrings. So who doesn't love a heart? Let's head down to the board, we'll take a closer look at the project and then we will make a pair together. So this is our love spell earring. It really will take just a few minutes to create one of these. And at the end of today's video, I'll show you a little bit of a side quest. If you want to add more detail, you absolutely can. So I'll just pop them into my tray and we'll grab some wire. I'm working with two 4-inch lengths of 1mm or 18 gauge wire. I've just grabbed in some antique bronze colourway because it's much easier to show you on the screen than it is to craft with silver, which gets a little bit lost on the background sometimes. I'm going to be using one of my favourite tools of the year. This is the Beadle-On Memory Wire Finishing Plier. Now you can use any round form that you like. I'm going to be using the 2mm pin on these memory wire finishing pliers. You could use round nose pliers or you could use your 6-step bail makers, or if you've got those bail makers that have got quite a small pin on one side, there's always those. So I'm going to grip that 4-inch length of wire in the middle and just start by folding those together. Now you can see that I've misjudged where that centre is, and that's easy enough to fix by just moving the wire that's longer over until they become approximately the same length. Now when I'm making earrings, what I try to do is to make them side by side, bit by bit. I'm not going to do this all the way through because it will become very repetitious, but what I'm trying to say is that what we will do with earring making is making them bit by bit. It enables you to get a much more accurate copy. So I'm going to put this up to one side now and just concentrate on the single piece. But each time you do it on one side, you must also do it on the other side. So continuing to work with your chosen round form, we're going to start to form the heart. Now, as I mentioned earlier, doing a little bit at a time and then copying it onto the other form is a really useful way of managing to control the likeness between the two pieces. So I'm just going to use that one set of pliers to draw that into a circular form, which I do want to close up. So if that hasn't quite closed up, just make sure that the cut end touches the rest of that wire, bring that round bit by bit, and then you can sit that to form the first half of your heart. Now, it is perfectly feasible to just give that a little bit of a tweak with your straight pliers or your flat pliers, in my case the bent chain nose pliers, and then work on the other side. And then what you can do is place this over your other pair, your other earring, just to make sure that they are similar enough. Another technique is to create that form with a little bit of an arc and then use your flat pliers to just bring that round. Now it can be difficult to get those two exactly the same if you do it freehand, so just take your time to get those to look as similar as possible, and then try it up against your other earring. So you can see that these two don't presently match. So what we need to do, I can see that I need to flatten out the side of that heart slightly. And you can achieve that by just squishing, using your pliers in the opposite plane, so at 90 degrees, just to change that to a little bit of a more straight section rather than such a arced section. And then just modify that by hand until they are similar enough. So that's good enough for me. You can obviously spend a little bit more time. I might just open that one out just a teeny tiny bit, just to get them to sit as close to similar as possible. So do take your time, don't be in a rush. I'm just trying to fit with that promise of a 5-minute make. And once you've got them both looking as similar as possible, you can choose whether or not you want to harden them. So I'll take a second just to get those looking the same and then I'll join you back. It really only does take a few seconds, a few moments, just to get those looking as similar as possible. At the end of the day, they're going to be worn on opposite sides of the head. If there's a little millimetre here or a little millimetre there that's different, I wouldn't overly worry about it. Next up, I'm going to just add a little bit of work hardening with my chasing hammer and my mini block, just to make sure that in wear they stay nice and stable. My two heart forms now match enough for me to be happy, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of work hardening. So the loop down at the bottom I'm going to keep off the edge of the block and just support those two together. What I tend to do is give it an initial tap just to give it a little bit more stability, and then I can just move that into position so that the two curly bits are touching but not crossing over. Now, because we're not using a lot of wire, you could just use a heavier wire and then you won't really need to hammer it, or even just lightly work hard on it by squishing with your pliers. It's entirely up to you, but we've now got those two hammered forms that are as close as similar enough to appease my personal choices, but you can take more time if you need to. What we're going to need to do now is to just add a little bit of a tiny twist down at the base. What we don't want is for that loop section to be at a vastly different angle, and because of the way it's formed, it's currently sitting ever so slightly to one side. So what I like to do is to pinch the loop and then very softly just twist it to the side. Now this will throw one of the lobes of the heart out ever so slightly, so you'll just need to bring that back to true once you've done. And what we're looking for is to have all of the wire in the same plane. What we're going to do now is to use a nice light wire. I've elected to go with some 24 gauge, which is equivalent approximately to 0.5 of a millimetre. And I've just got another 5-inch length, which is probably sufficient to do both earrings, but we shall see how it turns out. Now, I'm working in a silver colour wire this time, purely because I want you to be able to see exactly where everything is going. So it's slightly harder to see on the desk, but much easier to see on the wire. So I'm just going to lay that 5-inch length, which again is more than enough, over the top by about 1 inch. And then I'm going to push that end piece down inside the right lobe. Of course it's going to wiggle around because I wasn't holding it. Then I'm going to wrap 5 times just on the shoulder of that lobe of the heart. Now you could, if you have dexterity issues, quite easily use a 0.4 millimetre or 26 gauge wire, as it's just a little bit easier to work, but we're going to wrap 5 times anyway, so you do get that residual strength. So I'm just going to use my plier to help me bring that wire all the way around on that first lobe. It's much easier when you don't have to hold it still and you can put it up against your nose. My eyes have always been really good for up close, but now I'm 51, slightly less so. So I've got 4 wraps there, and you can see we're looking to have the long tail coming over the middle. What we're going to do is add a bead on in a moment. So let's go for 1 more visible wrap so that you can see 5 passes of wire. Now there is a residue, so if you're working with a precious metal, a silver or gold, then you will probably want to work as close as you can to that end. So probably ½ inch rather than 1 inch of wire over the top, but it's infinitely easier to have that tail just to help you get that wound on neatly. So I'm just going to make sure that that cut end is pushed down firmly against the inside of my frame, and then I'm going to tighten up that little spiral or coil or spring of wires to make sure it sits really neatly. Now I'm not going to crush it into position just yet, because what I want to do next is to add my bead. Now I found these little pretty I think actually they're 2.5 millimetre garnets. I'm just going to slide that down into position, sit the wire over the top of both sides of the loopy central section, and then I'm going to push that tail end down inside like so, and just pinch with my nail so that the bead sits between those 2 pieces of wire, and pinch that really firmly whilst I then wind on to have 5 visible wraps on the second side. So I'm just going to draw that all the way around. Just tighten that up slightly, but I'm protecting my bead. Garnet's a reasonably strong gemstone, but it can fracture if you're very, very hard with that wire. So I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and tight on both sides, and then I'll finish off with a couple more wraps so that they match on both sides. If you forget to count, as long as it's visually similar, you'll probably be okay. So again, I'm going to cover that bead up just while I tighten up 4 of those 5 wraps really strongly, and then slightly more softly with with the whole number, all 5 of them. And again, I can go back to the beginning side and just tighten that little spiral up again. So let's just take a look at the back. I'm going to draw that wire back a little bit so that I can trim the end away right inside that frame. Ideally, we want the very cut end of wire to be inside the frame, so I could have got that a little bit tighter, a little bit closer, but I'm just going to give that a tiny, tiny squish, making sure I don't fracture that bead. In essence, you could simply hang that as it is, but what I want to do is to add a little bit more detail to this earring today. So you're done. You can add that onto an ear wire if you want to, but I'm going to show you some extra bonus segments now. Next up, we're going to make a little bit of a swingy hanger for these earrings, and this is a great way to ensure that your hearts actually sit and hang directly upright. I'm working again with 1mm or 18 gauge wire, and I have just a 2-inch length. So basically we're creating with scraps today. We're going to start off in exactly the same way by finding the centre of that piece of wire, just by bringing those 2 ends close together and then crossing them over. Now I'm going to push that down so that we've got a small 2mm loop up at the top. Now I've got some really lovely straight edged pliers, so they're flat and they're also the same distance all the way across, and what this enables me to do is to make angles at a regulation distance away from a particular point on the jewellery. So I'm going to use those to measure the distance between the point at which I cause that angle to change and that little crossover point up at the top. Another thing that we can do is just create a nice straightness in the wire. Again, if you look at it directly over, that wire is tilted. So very, very firmly pinch those 2 leggy bits and then just draw that around so that that is now nice and straight, and it will hang straight as well. So I know that I need to bring those out just slightly, and what we're going to do now is to grip all the way across that form, just a tiny smidge below where that angle change takes place, and then I'm going to pull that away. It's only at about a 30-degree angle, it's not a huge amount. What I'm going to do now is to use that 2mm loop again, and I'm going to come quite a way away. It's probably about 5 or 6mm away from that angle change, and just rotate that wire around, draw that over the top. But I'm not making a complete loop, I'm making more of a U shape, and it's quite a little distance away. I might take that just a tiny bit further and open it out. So I've got the angle change just here, and then I've got that U shape, utilising again the 2mm pin. So you'll need to do that on the other side as well, making sure that those loops are on the same side. It's very easy to get mistaken and just bring that back the other way. Now they look slightly different, so I'm just going to open that out and then pinch the end up a little bit. So we're making a little hanger. Ideally you want those 2 little U shapes to be the same, so it might take a moment just to get that exactly where you want it, and then you might need to pinch it just a little bit. So I'm going to trim away the very ends of those 2 little pins so that it's opposite the angle change. So if I just trim that away quickly on one side, I can show you. And then I need to do the same on the second side. So it's just opposite where that angle change is. And in that way, you'll be able to see that it is more of a U shape rather than a perfect circle. What we're going to do now is to find the front of our design, which had the bead on top. And then I'm going to feed the earring into that hanging loop. So if it's not quite far enough apart, just prise those apart gently, pinching firmly on the loop up at the top, and then draw that all the way around both sides of those wraps of wire. Now you can see already that you've got beautiful movement in this piece of jewellery. So if I flip that over to the other side, what we're going to do now, it's not difficult, but it's tricky to film. So I need to pinch that earring, and then I'm going to utilise the tip of my bent chain nose pliers just to close that loop up. It's a very, very simple, small movement. I don't want the wire to cross over. I want the cut end to sit against the angle change. So if I just glint that in the light, you can see that that's happening. And then I'll do the same on the other side. Now, because I'm right dominant, I need to do it in a very peculiar way, but this should show you exactly what you need to see. I'm just pinching that closed. And then from the front, we're not looking to see any of that cut end. So you just very gently squish over the loop as it sits there, and basically you are done. All you'll need to do is add in your chosen earring finding, making sure you get that the right way round, and then close up the loop on your earring finding, which I'll do in just a second. So in essence, your 5-minute love spell earrings are done, but if you want a little side quest, I'll show you how you can add a nice little bit of extra movement down at the bottom of the design. So I've popped another single one of those 2.5mm beads onto a standard head pin, and I'm going to use my bent chain nose pliers to just grip across that head pin and then create a round loop. We're going to do a very small wrapped loop, and we're going to add this to the bottom of my demonstration pair, which I made in silver. So wrapping that all the way around again using that 2mm pin, and then we're going to thread that into the loop where we started the process. And you can just close that up by hand. I think this is an iron head pin with a silver plating. And then we can grip across that loop and just draw that tail all the way around. Now, if you're working with copper, it's very easy to get a nice smooth wrap. If you are working with an iron head pin, as I am today, you do need to just control that slightly more, because if it goes awry, it's a little bit harder to get that to go too straight and true. So that has got a bit of a wrinkle in it. So what I'm going to do is just trim the end away there. Pop that in the scrap pot, and then we'll see if we can rescue this one. If not, it's just a head pin. Not overly worried about a single head pin. So I'm just very softly making sure that that's nice and smooth, and then side quest completed. Probably 60 seconds to add that little dangle down at the bottom, and I'll repeat that with the other earring in just a moment. I'll take a photograph and leave it on the outro screen for you. I think I'll wear both pairs today. Why not? I do love a mixed metal. So I hope that you've enjoyed those love spell earrings today. I know that I have. If you like the content, please do leave a comment, drop me a like. Think about a subscription. It costs you nothing and there's new content every week. Have the most wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.